let's start out with the first question. Who are you and what do you do for work?
So my name is Spencer Kelleher. I am the founder and CEO of Territool. We're a patented AI outside sales rep platform that helps in-person reps see more accounts in the field, find their leads, find new leads, and keep track of their territory, keep track of all the opportunities in their territory.
Awesome. And how did you hear about my company and services?
Through your persistent emailing, and I loved that you were pitching a results based that you required no money down and that you were purely results based. And I like the one caveat usually for that is like usually you get people who are you can't set your watch. You can't. It's difficult to get reliability when it comes to people that are pay per performance. But you are definitely an outlier because you've been consistently getting me demos since you started in 2022 and really helped me when I was at a point where I didn't have any resources to other than myself to do outreach. And you've really been a lifesaver. There's no other way to put it.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Spencer.
It's true.
Um,
It's true.
awesome. That's great to hear. So like you're saying that I was a lifesaver, but like what were you to get more deep into that? What were you struggling with before working with me? Like what was your business like?
Well, we had just finished the platform, or we had just finished a sort of a beta version when you initially reached out to me and I initially brought you on, and we put all of our resources into building the platform and didn't have any resources really left in sales, and so I was really struggling finding the time to and the consistency to day after day put in the calls and put in the work that was necessary to get demos and to convert to get users. And I was at a point where I couldn't afford a sales rep or to bring on a full-time sales rep or even a part-time sales rep. So I needed someone that was pay per results. And I didn't really know that there were SDRs like you. I thought that most SDRs want something, some guarantees, some money up front. And yeah, when you reached out and said, "Hey, like you'll only pay me if I give you qualified demos," you started performing almost immediately after we reached an agreement, and you've been performing ever since.
You were saying I kind of helped you with like the targeting aspect as well. Like you've spoken with some of the demos and that helped you kind of recalibrate like who you're targeting and like kind of the vision for your product as well. Can you tell me more
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. Well, you helped us realize that. So I realized that the initial build of the platform, I built it for my own sales process when I was a trucking sales rep. And in talking to your leads that you've brought on, and who are now users, they've dictated sort of the scope of the platform. Like for instance, initially I thought we were just a routing platform. You would upload your data and we would route it and then convey it on a web and mobile platform that you could take with you in the field or use in the office. But the biggest issue that I kept seeing with your leads and through the demos that you would get me is that there was this need for leads. And so we ended up breaking that down and be like, okay, well, what are leads? What are you looking for in terms of leads? And we understood that they were looking for company and contact details in addition to having them organized in a route efficient format. So we ended up building a leads module since we brought you on from the information that we've learned from your accounts. We've also learned that scheduling is a big aspect from thanks to the prospects that I've talked to because of your demos. And so we're building a scheduling aspect into our platform that will be up in a couple weeks. So yeah, it's certainly dictated the scope. You've certainly indirectly molded the platform thanks to the amount of outside sales reps and managers that you've brought on and that I've been able to talk to because of your work. So yeah, it's the scope of the platform a lot and the identity of the platform changed because of this
Awesome.
involved.
That's great to hear. So like not only did I bring you like more demos and sales, but you were able to kind of do more market research and that helped you like improve the product. So and you also have told me that like you have great retention through your product as well, right?
Yeah, 97% is the retention right now. So not many people leave the platform, but the hardest thing was just getting to the critical mass of users or of prospects to understand what gets them on and what keeps them staying. And I wouldn't have had that information if it wasn't for the prospects that you have brought on through your outreach. So yeah, it's been way more than just getting demos. It's been
Mm-hmm.
you've informed the identity of the platform.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, 'cause one of the biggest pain points in like the whole B2B SaaS and like software industry is churn. If you run a software company, like dealing with churn is one of the most difficult things. Like acquiring customers is already difficult enough, but like when you have churn, it's just hard to maintain a business. But I'm really happy to hear that you're seeing good retention due to the feedback from all the prospects I brought and just your great ability to make a great product. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Well, you just start to learn from like the more people that you talk to, the more you align yourself to the market, and yeah, and you start to let instead of your own ego dictate where the product is going and your own experiences, you let the market dictate where the platform's going, and that was a big paradigm shift. And before I was sort of letting myself dictate it. Like I was sort of trying to tap into my own experiences, and that was really selfish of me in retrospect. And in talking to all these people and to getting sort of like you get perspective the more people that you talk to and the more qualified people that you bring on. Not all of them turn into customers, but the more people that you talk to and the more you keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again of like, oh man, I wish this would do that, or I wish that you had this, or it really does dictate the scope of what you're doing, and it does dictate the product. And if you don't listen to that, then you're dead. You're absolutely screwed. So yeah, that's been one of
Definitely.
the unexpected benefits of getting so many demos and not having to worry about also if an unqualified demo has if some we've only had a few, but you've what I really appreciate about you, Young, is uh, you have really not. You said that you would only charge for qualified demos. They would attend the meetings, and if they were qualified, and you've been true to your word. But there have been many, but the ones that have uh, that haven't been part of my ICP, you've really honored and not charged me for it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, definitely. And I'm glad you highlighted that because one of the big things about my offer that's differentiated is not just demos but qualified demos and also ultimately of course like showing up because if they don't show up like it wouldn't make sense to charge you. But more specifically, the qualified demo is really important because um, I want I want you to hop on calls with prospects that would actually want to buy your product, and once they buy your product, like stay using your product, like product stickiness as well. Because if they just sign on maybe like one time or like and then they just like cancel within like a month or two, then obviously that doesn't show like qualification, and also like they probably weren't a good fit for the product as well because having a specific use case and having a need for like the product's features uh, and the the product's value propositions that align with the prospect's pain points. That's really important. So qualified demos is something that I really aim for with my clients, and we're all always looking for that win-win situation. So I wouldn't have taken on you as a client as well if I believe that I couldn't have found qualified clients for you.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, definitely, Spencer. And so I guess we could kind of move on. So you would say that like you were primarily struggling with like finding qualified demos and like also learning about like what what product features your prospects want. Like what else were you primarily struggling with before we started working together?
Um, just having volume, just having or just having people do outreach for me and target my ICP that I could rely
Mm-hmm.
on. Because sales, yeah, it's about yeah, like SaaS sales especially, and it's about building a product, yes, and it's about like um, yeah, it's about building the best product that you can. But there's like a misnomer to where like the old Field of Dreams quote, "If you build it, they will come." That isn't the case. It's just having a someone that it's just having people that were calling and doing outreach to my customers on a consistent basis, and that I needed because I didn't have any money and I didn't have any reliable sources uh, of sales reps that I can that who were just doing outreach, who were just consistently on the emails, on the phones, on LinkedIn, and usually with a pay per performance SDR, you don't get that consistency. You can't. It's not reliable, but just having you initially just calling and I could expect at least 3 to 4 demos a week was a lifesaver, especially when I was there were days where I wouldn't be able to hit the phones myself because I was either QAing or making marketing materials or trying to put out fires or trying to onboard users and that those were the days that I really was thankful to having someone that was consistently making calls, bringing in people like as if you were my employee, as if I was paying you to just work for Territool. That's how I felt that to get that in an SDR, someone who's sort of a gun fryer is very rare. And I've had 4 or 5 other SDRs that were on similar that I've structured similarly to you, and all of them have failed except for you. None of them were able to bring in consistent demos except for you. So And I'm not even just saying that. That is the truth.
I see.
So that I really I prize, and it's really helped me get to the point where I'm able to get users, or I was able to get users and sort of a foundation to be able to grow and put in some more money into sales. If you're just starting out and don't have that money and or don't have the budget to bring in someone who is just calling, it is very difficult to find the consistency and the volume that it takes to get demos from an SDR, and yeah, you've come in and you've been consistent and throughout this whole process. So including today. So that's big. That was really big for me when I was really struggling to be consistent. You gave me that consistency in an unlikely place.
Hmm.
So
That's
yeah.
awesome to hear. That's definitely awesome to hear. I'm glad I was able to help you throughout the years, and yeah, I'm happy to see where you are now, like you've been hiring new sales reps and you could reinvest more money into the business as well. What would you say specifically have been your business results after we started working together?
Well, we've gotten hundreds of users, in part because of your calling. I've gone from basically zero to like having just one or two users to now being in a position to where I've proven my model and I could go. I have options. I don't have to just rely on a VC round to raise funds. Like I'm actually able I have options. I'm able to still to self fund and to really realize my vision. And again, when you started out, I was in a place of like desperation where it's like, okay, I had a product that worked, but I didn't have, again, any resources to put into sales. And so I thought I was going to have to raise around because I physically couldn't put in the time and energy consistently to generate enough traction to get to the next level. And you've been that like that bridge that's gotten me to a point to where I can be self-sustaining and I'm in a point where I could raise around now, but yeah, I'm happy with the traction that I'm getting. That was all started because of you. So yeah, where I am now is just I'm in a lot more powerful position than before you. That's certainly true.
That was great. That's interesting that you highlight like the funding aspect because um, if if you get funding, like obviously you have a lot of cash and you could invest that into like SDRs or improving the product or whatever aspect to grow the business. But then you would also have to give up a lot of control and also like things like equity and like ownership is one of the big things for a lot of founders. Um, yeah, that's great to hear, and it's good that you were able to bootstrap the business instead and hold on to a lot of equity in the business.
Yeah, and
Um,
because of that, I'm in a lot
mhm,
more powerful position to raise money. Because again, the best time to raise money is when you don't need it, and when you need it,
mhm,
you tend to have to give away a lot of equity, and I feel like investors could smell it on you. So I'm
right.
definitely in a powerful position, being able to have bootstrapped it to this point.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. In negotiations, like it's the person that can walk away that has the power.
Yep, you got it.
uh, um, yeah, but since joining, like, what are some like wins and milestones you have achieved? Like, you could share like specific revenue numbers if you're okay with that, or at least like significant results like number of leads, like generated, calls booked.
Yeah, I mean, getting past the 10K MRR number was big,
Hmm.
but getting that was almost as big as getting our patent in AI optimization. But yeah, it getting to I think that threshold, the 10K monthly revenue is or monthly recurring revenue is a big it's a big one, and we've just surpassed that. So. That is, and what's great is we are now able to hire to bring on more sales reps, and with that, we're obviously also able to improve the platform. But I feel like now we're self-sustaining, whereas before we weren't. To where like I desperately needed help, and now you always need more help, right? But I feel like now I'm in a position that I could actually afford to bring on that help and to scale with or without an investor. And I feel like in the startup world, that's unheard of. Usually like someone with no startup experience doesn't just build a platform out of nothing and then be able to actually scale that platform alone without a significant investment. And I could not have done that without having you come on at a crucial time where I needed results, and I didn't have the capital to be able to put into someone uh, who was a full time sales rep, and I didn't have yeah, I didn't have the money to start a full sales and marketing team separate from myself, and
Hmm.
you just kind of came on and did that. So yeah, I think is that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the in-depthness as well. Um, yeah, that's definitely an aspect. Like a lot of software companies um, hiring SDRs. Like not only is it like expensive to hire SDR and maintain them, but like there's like a whole training process. You gotta train them, and like you don't even know if they're gonna get your results. And that there's like a big uncertainty aspect and high risk aspect in those regards. So I'm glad I
Yeah,
was
and you're
able to
also
come through.
thinking,
Yeah.
and I feel like just the inherent suspicious nature of like humans, like you're thinking, okay, like you're going to charge me $300 per qualified meeting. What are you going to pay them $150 to like come on and act as a qualified meeting? Like that's like what is a suspicion that I like inherently y- that I initially thought that I'm like, okay, is this going to
Mm-hmm.
really be, are these going to be qualified demos, or am I getting, am I getting taken advantage of at a time where I'm
Mm-hmm.
most vulnerable? And I certainly wasn't. You were a man of your word, and that's it means as I've already said, it means a lot. It
Mm-hmm.
really is paid dividends. So
Yeah, definitely, Spencer. I'm glad I was able to keep my word, and I'm glad we were able to build this business relationship throughout the years. And I look forward to helping you even scale even further and find um, maybe even expand your ICP even more and improve your product even more. Yeah, so definitely
if you
excited
keep
for that.
bringing in
And
demos, like if you keep bringing in these demos and these qualified leads, like you have been, there's yeah, I feel like the sky's the limit with our growth.
definitely, yeah. Um, to kind of close off a bit with the last few questions, like what's one piece of advice you have for other clients to get the most out of our services?
Um, it just I think being as just trying to convey as much as you can about the ideal client profile. What the biggest thing that I've learned though is noting the problems of what your ICP or what your target market is experiencing. That's been my biggest evolution is I was trying to pitch solutions, and I just read this book called Never Split the Difference, and it's people are more motivated to move on something if they are to fix a problem that they have. If they are aware of a problem that they have currently and they are losing money or losing something, rather than pitching an enhancement and something, here's what you could gain. And I think the biggest thing that I've evolved and you've helped me see is learning to know what the root problems are of your ideal customer profile to get movement, to make them view your solution as a priority rather than just something that is optional that you could add on to your sales process. Or you could add on as because people don't move, people don't prioritize things that unless they see that, okay, without having this, I am losing money. I'm hemorrhaging something every day by not having this tool. So I think that's the biggest thing, and just knowing your customer. But you can only know your customers truly by talking to as many as possible. So
Right.
yeah, I think it's just like
Yeah,
I'm,
definitely.
yeah.
It's a interesting point you mentioned. Like, instead of positioning your product or offer as a not a nice to have, but like a specific need, and really touching on the critical pain points that your customers and prospects are having is what creates that urgency and shows that this product is something that they actually need. Is really what's makes moves the needle and makes people take action. Um, and last question, what would you say to someone considering working with us?
I would say I would say run and don't walk. I'd say that if you want someone who is going to who's going to put forth a lot of effort and consistent effort, which is the most important. You're not the cheapest SDR, but you definitely get what you pay for, and I would recommend you very very highly. And yeah, yeah, I would. That's pretty much it. I would just recommend that if even if you have resources, even if you have a sales rep, why not bring on someone who could get you more leads? I mean, like in sales, like there's never it's never enough, you know. Like you always want
Right.
more people that you have calling for you. The more people you have highlighting the problems that you're solving and that your product is solving, the better it is, and the more sales you're going to get, and the more money you're going to make. So yeah, even if I had a full staff of sales reps, like, and even if we get to the point where we're a unicorn valuation, I'm still going to bring you on, or I'm still going to keep you on as long as we're still in business. So which will be forever, of course.
All right, thank you so much, Spencer.
Of
Thank you
course.
for all the compliments, and I'm glad you're able to grow your business and look forward to growing further. And thank you for coming on this interview.
Of course, Young. Anything for you, my man.
Yeah,
Thank you for everything you've done for Territool. I mean that with the bottom of my heart.
I appreciate you, Spencer.